Hello, Instagram. Happy Monday. I hope you're doing well. I am listening to the Shaka Khan station on Pandora. Just to give you a heads up, right now we're listening to Let It Whip, which is one of my favorite songs from, I think it's 80s or late 70s. Anyway, I hope that you're doing well today, whether you're catching this live or, whether you catch this later on as the replay. I'm so happy that you're getting to watch this. Hey, Lama Rebute, very nice to see you. So today what I want to talk about is what you can start to do to get anything that you want. Hey, House of, how do I say, Gigu? Welcome. So very, very simple. I think sometimes it's time to just get back to basics. And back to basics is, it always goes back to what are we thinking? What are we thinking and what are we actually manifesting into our lives? So sure, this is a little bit of law of attraction type stuff, but I wanted to share with you like what my process has been. Jay Goo. Oh, hi, how are you? And Artistry by Cynthia's here. Hey, how are you guys? So if you want to know what it is you can start doing to get anything that you want, is you have to start really focusing on what you're thinking about, okay? And starting to not only focus on what you're thinking about, pay attention to what you're thinking about, and then start to create a plan to work with the mind, to actually train, to master the mind so that it is not running the show and it's not running you into a shit show. So who here, type in the chat box below, say that's me, or, give me some hearts if this is you. When you wake up in the morning, the first thing you're doing is worrying about, the bills you need to pay, the not having enough time, just all of the problems, all of the challenges and the things that you have to deal with. Type in the chat box, say that's me, or give me some hearts if that's me. Thanks so much to, I think that was Artistry by Cynthia who said that's totally me. Yep, there go all the hearts, right, because we've all been there. But you know what's interesting? What's interesting to me is that, hey, Miss Raven D, how are you? And Pollyanna Mariato, and Mrs. Loyal and Varden 77, nice to see you guys. What I realized is that I'm a worrywart. Like, I just am someone who worries, and I guess I'm more of a person who has anxiety because I live in the future. Like, I'm always thinking of, oh my God, I have to get that done. This has to be done. Here's the deadline for this. Oh my God, how am I going to pay for that? And, it's things that need my attention, but don't need my attention. Like, they're not happening in this very moment. So type in the chat box. I have a rogue hair somewhere. I'm sorry, you guys. Trying to find it, and because it's just really bugging me. Okay. Type in the chat box, or say type in the chat box and say that's me, or give me some hearts if you're that person who is living in the future, thinking of the bills that you have to pay, next week, in a month, in 2 months. How you have a certain commitment to do that you don't want to do. Like, you're going to work and you're thinking about work tomorrow and you're not happy with it and all that, but just thinking about things that are not happening now, things that are happening in the future. So what I've realized, House of Jagu says totally. Hey, Roxy, Rox91. So what I have really realized is that I am someone who consistently lives in the future. So the reason I mention this to you is because what's important first is awareness. You have to be aware of who you are, what you do, if you want to create some change. So I had to notice that first. I had to notice that I am a person who worries about the future. And then also I started noticing when I worry. And when I worry is first thing in the morning, as soon as I wake up. So unless things are going fantastically, in my mind, and then I'm not really worried at all. But for the most part, even when things are going well, I find something to worry about. So I thought that was really interesting, because have you ever noticed, like, as soon as you solve a certain problem, a challenge, as soon as that thing goes away, there's a whole other one that for you to focus on. Like, it happens immediately. That's what happens to me. So it was very important for me to notice what my patterns are. My patterns are that I wake up in the morning and I'm in anxiety because I'm thinking of problems that I don't have answers to yet. And I'm thinking of them as problems. And then the next, and then the next thing is that, oh wait, no, it's the same thing. I'm waking up in the morning and that's the first thing I'm thinking about. So because I have that awareness, now I can choose to do something about it. So you've heard this a million times in the past, about being present. And it is so important to be present, because when I'm going to share with you, some of the results, some of the things that have happened to me in the last 30 days. But being present is so important because you have to remind yourself, you have to remember that you're not going to have the answer even for tomorrow's thing, even for the thing in an hour, until like just when you need it, just in time, not a second before. So when you're constantly thinking like, oh my God, I need to solve this problem, I need to solve this problem, I need to solve this problem, what's happening is that, I'll speak for myself. When I'm in that mode, I have forgotten that I am part of everything, right? I'm part of everything. We're connected to everything. So I am 100% supported by the universe. And when I start thinking, oh my God, I have to solve this problem, I have to do this, I have taken the universe out of everything. I have said, I'm going to do this alone. So step one is having the awareness that I'm thinking these things. Then step two is, okay, well, I'm thinking these things and I don't think these things are serving me. So remembering that, because when I remember that, now I can make a different choice. So then the choice is, let me think of things, let me put things into my mind that are going to actually help me. And also let me feel better about this. So type in the chat box and or give me some hearts and just let me know that you're still with me, because this is very simple. This is simple stuff. This isn't anything that you haven't heard before. I just want to give it to you in a more in a really practical way. So you have a step 1, step 2, step 3 kind of process. But it's so important. You got to catch the thought, and then when you catch the thought, you have to make the decision. All right, am I doing this today or am I not? So what I'm finding, what's been really helpful is that I am deliberately choosing, I'm not doing this today. Like deliberately choosing it. Thanks for the hearts. I'm glad that you're with me. Then the next thing is, what can I do to change this? Now this is where the action is really, you have to start taking action. But I'm wondering if maybe the action that you're taking, or the one that you're thinking that you need to take, is one that is not really the one that you need to take. So what I have noticed is, if I make my focus, especially always, but especially when I'm like, man, I don't have the solution for this right now, then my plan is, what can I do to feel as good as possible right now? Like literally that simple. What can I do right now to feel as good as possible? So I'll give you an example. Yesterday, like, things have been going great. But yesterday afternoon, I was so salty for out of nowhere. Like out of nowhere, I was just like, man, I am really pissed off. And I didn't know why. And it was kind of surprising, because I'm like, where did this come from? And I could say I'm moving in, in a couple tomorrow actually. There's just a lot of change and stuff going on. But at the end of the day, what I noticed is I am pissed off. I'm pissed off. And then I started thinking of, oh my God, I have to get that done and I have to get that done. And then all of a sudden, that was like the doorway for me thinking all of these things, these worrisome, thoughts. Hey, Piera. So, and then that wasn't helping me, because it was just making things bigger. So I had to make a choice. Yesterday I was like packing up and stuff, because I'm moving, but I was also like Netflixing. That was the whole plan. I was going to watch The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, because I just started watching it and I thought it was hilarious. I was like, I'm just going to pack and watch the show. And then I was doing it, and after a while I was like, man, I am so salty and pissed off. So like I needed to change what I was doing. So I got up, I got in the car, I went outside, I just, I went for a drive. I had to go pick something up, but I had to just move the energy around. And when I got in the car, I was like, man, I'm really fucking pissed. Like, I was pissed. And I really couldn't figure out why that was. But the fact that I realized it, and the fact that I couldn't even pinpoint there wasn't really a reason to trigger it, then it almost made me laugh, because it made me realize, like, how, I don't know if you've ever heard, the phrase or the statement that emotions are like clouds, that they can kind of pass through you. I was like, man, I think I'm just experiencing, a cloud of, like, just being furious. But the point was that I caught it, and because I caught it, then I had a choice. I could continue doing what I was doing, or just change the energy, move around for a bit. Got in the car, I drove. And by the time I came back from the errands, like, I was feeling better. And it wasn't like I was 100%, but I felt much better. That's really, really important. You have to change the energy, especially when you don't have the answer or the next step, because when you're in a negative state, you can't get the solution that you're looking for. You're never going to find it. You're never going to attract it. So give me some hearts, or type in the chat box and say, I get it. If you understand this, that, like, when you don't know what else to do, and you're just pissed off or scared or frustrated or depressed, you have to, you got to try a little bit, and you have to move the energy. You have to change. Like, you have to make the decision to do something different. And not a decision of, like, well, that person needs to do something differently or whatever. Like, it has to be you. Like, the conditions around you can't change. It has to be you. So I'll share with you something. Yesterday I went to get the errand was, I ordered these new stools, right, for my new kitchen, and I went to go pick them up, and I called the place because I need to let them know that I'm on my way, and I'm getting the directions, and the girl is pissing me off. Like, I hated her accent. I hated everything she was saying. Like, I was just going to be annoyed because I was going to be annoyed. She wasn't going to get it right? So, and I didn't really give her an attitude or anything like that. I was just like, okay, like, she was like, okay, you pull into this, garage, you go here. And I'm like, okay. Like, I just wanted to be annoyed, but I couldn't really find the reason. So when I got off the phone with her, I was just like, okay, Sonia, how are you going to do this? Because you could 100% go to the store, and you guys know what it's like. When you're already not in a good mood, you're gonna run into that salesperson, or that person who's not gonna be helpful at all. And I just was like, how are you gonna do this? So I said, okay, clearly I need to really spend time with me today, more so than other people, but I'm gonna go get this taken care of. I'm going to anticipate that something is going to happen that is going to get on my nerves. And because I am calling it out now, because I'm the one who's in a salty mood, like, I'm just assuming someone is going to do something to annoy me, I'm already going to factor that into the plan. And that's what I did. And I got there, and because the things that annoy me are things that take too long, people having me waiting for no reason, stuff like that. But I also didn't have anything else to do, so I was just, like, thinking of all these things that could be, and just like, okay, if that happens, if these things happen, like, it'll be fine. So long story short, I get there, and the parking spot closest to, like, the door is the one that's available. I ring the doorbell. The guy he's a very nice guy. He asked for the order number in like 5 minutes or less. The seats are in my car. It fit perfectly in the car. Like, I went home. It actually worked out perfectly. And I think it worked out perfectly because I had just kind of accepted, like, I'm frustrated, I'm this, I'm that. So what happened was, by me just making these decisions and saying, okay, I'm not in the best mood right now, or I accept that something is going to piss me off, and it's really me, and it's not going to be these people and this and that. What ended up happening was none of those things happened, because by just accepting each one of those things, I was putting myself into a better mood, so a better frequency, a better vibration, and I attracted a better experience. Give me some hearts, or say I get it, and thanks Miss Raven and Lama Rebute for the get it from before, but type in the chat box and say I get it, or give me some hearts if you understand that. Like, those were conscious choices. I could have gone in there like a bat out of hell, pissed off, bringing my own shit in there. But I made the choice to do something different. And this has been really, really important, because I have been, really dialing in mastering my mindset and mastering my energy for the last couple of years, but I'm honing it to this point where I'm catching it very quickly, and the results have been really amazing. So result number one is so I've been extra focused on this for the last 30 days, and one of the actually more like 4 or 5 weeks, but like 3 weeks ago, I made the decision that it was time to move. I had a roommate for, the last year and a half, and it's been wonderful. And it was just, I just woke up one day and I knew that it was time. It was time for me to just have my own place again. So, for the last few years, since 2015, I have been, I've had some roommate situations because when I left New Jersey end of 2014. I moved to New York in 2015. In New Jersey, I lived on my own. And when I went to New York, everything just felt so transient. Like, I just knew that this wasn't where I was going to live for a long term. Like, I don't know if you've ever had that feeling, but I just knew stuff was temporary. So I had all these roommate situations, and truth be told, it was also good for me. I think I needed to be around, I needed it. I really needed to be around people. I needed to learn how to relate to them. I needed to learn how to live with them. I needed to learn how to compromise, like all of these things that, when you live on your own, you don't really have to do. Miss Ravendy says, I know the feeling. Yeah. So like, so since 2015 up until now, like my life, I have known that it's been transition. So the thought of like buying a home, has never been a thought that I've had, because when I lived in New Jersey, I was like, I don't know where I belong, but I know it's not here, kind of deal. So anyway, since 2014, this is, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is gonna be my 5th move since 2015. So a lot of moves in the last few years, and living with my roommate was fantastic. It was wonderful. We were both really going through a lot of transition, and it was really wonderful. And then I just woke up one day and I knew that, I woke up and I was like, wow, I don't live here anymore. And that's happened to me before. And the reason I made the decision to move forward with the move was because when I lived in New Jersey, I had the experience of the universe evicting me out of my own life. And if you understand what that means, is I just, my life, this is when the career started to fall apart. All of this stuff started to happen because I wasn't moving forward in life, and it was looking to help me. So I kind of saw the writing on the wall. I felt the same experience, and it was very exciting, but it was also really scary, because it's like, man, okay, I need to move. The timing right now isn't great. Financially, this isn't the best time to do it. Like all of the things that appear, when these things happen. But I knew in my heart, like I knew with certainty that, man, like, yeah, it's time for me to, like, it just, something changed. Give me some hearts, or type in the chat box and say, I know the feeling. If you've ever been in that place where you're just like, man, I can feel that my life is changing right now. So that's what the last few weeks have been about. The last few months have been about it, but the last few weeks is where it's showing up in the physical, like things are changing. So long story short, I made the decision to move, and within a matter of a week, the 30-day notice had been given. My roommate had already moved out. Like everything happened just so quickly, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like I was freaking out, and thinking of all of the the new financial responsibility, and just the move itself, and all of that, and then in the middle of running this business and having all these events coming up, and my niece's birthdays are coming up, and I gotta fly home for it, and just everything you can think of. So the last few weeks for me have really been about taking everything that I've been learning in terms of mastering the mind, mastering the self, and putting it into action. Because the last few moves that I've had, they have been so wonderful for me, but I have suffered through them because I have looked at them through the lens of fear. Like, I'm afraid, oh my God, how am I going to do this? How is this going to work out? And I didn't want to do that this time. Welcome, Joy the MUA, Studio M Style, Solo Brown. Welcome, you guys. So this time I decided I was going to do it differently, that I was going to just trust that, I'm being taken care of, that the universe is helping me, but take action. When I say the universe is taking care of me, it doesn't mean I'm just going to sit there with my hands, behind my head, like relaxing. It's I'm going to flow with this. And at every opportunity that comes my way, I'm going to take it, because it's the universe helping me. So let me just share with you, like, law of attraction wise, just by making these choices, how this happens. So and for those of you who are just coming on, I'm talking about, like, I'm moving tomorrow, and I'm just talking about how I manifested. So literally the day that I decided, okay, I think it's time for me to move, I call the property management company. I said, hey, do you have any other apartments available? And I know the apartments in my building, and I know they're really pricey, but I was just like, let me just call anyway. Let me just see what my options are. I love this company. They manage the apartments amazingly. The place is fantastic, and the places are beautiful. So I call and I speak to the rep, and she's like, we don't have any apartments in your building, but there's a new building just opened, and there's 1 and 2 bedrooms. And I was like, all right, let's go. And she told me how much, and it's more than I'm paying now, but I was like, all right, I'm just gonna follow the flow. So I go, I look at the apartment, and of course I love it. And you guys will see it because I'll be doing my lives from there. Moving. This will be my last live from this apartment. But I go look at it, and I was just like, it's wonderful. I liked it, and I just, give me some hearts, or, type in the chat box, say that's me. If you've ever just walked into a place and you're like, yeah, I already know, I live here, or something like it. Like if you've walked into like your studio or something, you're like, yeah, this is the space where I'm going to work from. Or when you see the car, you're like, yeah, that's my car. So that's kind of what happened. And it worked out perfectly. She was like, the one thing I didn't like was one of the views from the windows. So she was like, House of Jagu says, yep. So I, yeah. So I didn't like one of the views from the window. So, we talked it down where I got, some free time living at the apartment, as well as California does a weird thing for me because I'm a East Coaster, you have to buy your own refrigerators, which I'm not used to because usually when you rent an apartment, it's there. But in California, that doesn't happen, or at least in Los Angeles. So she was like, we'll throw in a new refrigerator, we'll do this, blah, 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 whatever. So done. The place was done. And because I literally walked in that day, I was like, okay, I want to do this, but I'm not ready to do the deposit today. And I needed to sort things out with my roommate and all that. But they were just like, sure, just, we can do it like this and blah, blah, blah. And it kept falling into place, So I was just like, oh my gosh, I have to say yes, because it's falling into place. It's not that I don't feel stretched and I'm not being challenged, but it's falling into place. So then I got the apartment. Then I got it in my head, I need new dishes. Okay, I like, for me, I already know, like, Los Angeles is home. It's home, and it feels amazing to know that this is where I live, because, as I said before, when I lived in New Jersey and on the East Coast, I always knew, like, this isn't where I really live. So now being here for almost 2 years, I know that it's definitely home. I feel comfortable here. So I decided that I wanted to invest in some beautiful dishes. Lama Rebute says awesome. Yeah, no, it really was wonderful. So the dishes became a really, really important thing for me for a couple of reasons, because I have been someone who, has just been getting the for now stuff, right? I'll just get these dishes for now. I'll get, and like nice stuff from like Bed Bath & Beyond or whatever, but like not the dishes that I would totally want, right? Not the dishes for my home. So what happens? I went to Macy's and I was looking at their home goods stuff, and then I saw them. The beautiful Kate Spade dishes that I just knew were mine. So I'm looking at these dishes and I'm just like, ugh, I love them. And like, the dinner plate alone is $40 and, whatever. And I wanted to, get a nice set and all of this stuff or whatever. So it was going to be quite a bit of money. And I think that they had some kind of sale going on that day, and I was just looking around, and then I spoke to the salesperson. I was like, and usually the Kate Spade stuff is never on sale. So I spoke to the salesperson about something else, and then I was like, and Kate Spade never goes on sale, right? And she was like, no, but we're having our big annual sale, and in a few days it's going to be 30% off. And I was just like, oh my gosh. So she was like, call on Wednesday, find out what the date is, and then come back and do it or whatever. So I called that Wednesday, and I kept being put on hold, and I'm like, I'm gonna get these dishes. Like, I need to find out what this date is. I need to get these dishes. So, but they kept putting me on hold, and then the guy that finally picks up, I was like, hi, I'm calling to find out about this sale. It's supposed to be 30% off, and I heard that Kate Spade, whatever, and he half listened to me, and he's like, yeah, it's happening right now, and I was like, what? So I run over to Macy's to look at the stuff, and it turns like it's not on sale, and I'm like, what the hell? So I speak to this other lady, and she's like, no, that sale's happening on June 10th. So she's like, but you can pre-order it, and we'll ship it to you. So I literally that day ordered the dishes, got the 30% off. They arrived to my place. It was happening too easily. Like, so that's the point, you guys. So all of these things, I was taking them as cues. I'm not going to bore you with every piece of furniture or home good that I've gotten, but the idea was that I started to see like, wow, there's some momentum here, and I just needed to follow the signs, the cue, and follow the excitement, because for a minute there I was also like, you know what, I shouldn't really, I don't need these dishes. I can get some really nice dishes that are less expensive and a cheaper version of Kate Spade, because she has another line that's more casual. And I was like, but no, I was, because for me it's like, how does everything feel? And I felt like goosebumps and excitement when I saw those dishes. And so then I almost talked myself out of it, but then I was like, no, I am setting up this home for my best life, for my new life, the life that I want now. So in this life, how do I see myself living? And I see myself living, in today, not like, oh, I'll put it off for the next thing, or like, and the dishes were a symbol of that. So I got the fancy dishes. And I got a great deal for it. So that just was very exciting, like it really, I've never been so excited over dishes. I'll have to show you the little espresso cup, the coffee cups. We'll have coffee over alive. Don't worry, I'll show you. But it was a very, very exciting feeling, and I just kind of kept going with it. At the same time, if you caught my live from last week, I've been doing these, these sales calls. I've just literally been calling, past clients to check in with them, and from that, just sticking to that very simple plan. If you've noticed, I haven't really done any kind of online marketing or anything, just simply checking in with clients helped me generate another almost 45,000, I think like 45,000 in sales, and probably brought in about a third of that in cash in hand yet. So, and this has just been in the last 30 to 37 days, because it's been about 5 weeks. Hey, Hadara MUI. So all of these little things were happening, not little things, but these things were happening, and it was just, my energy was getting really good, but I had to wake up every single day. I still woke up every day like nervous, like, oh my God, I got to figure out the move. I got to figure out this. I got to figure out that, right? And then I'm worried about the dishes and all of this stuff. But I had to make the choice every single morning to be present, to be right here. Like, when we were talking about the security deposit and this and that, all I heard was just dollar bills. Like, I need money for this. I need money for this. I need new furniture now. Right? I need all of this stuff. And I just was like seeing dollars. Oh my God, I need this. I need this. So I made the choice I'm going to take it one day at a time. Let me just get on the phone. Let me get on the phone. So I would get on the phone and I would have these conversations. I heard no. I got no answers. I heard this or whatever. But I just was having, real conversations. And if it wasn't a fit, it wasn't a fit. And then when I was not working, I was off looking and deciding what's my real life, right? What do I want? Here's what was really substantial. I have been moving my physical body every single day. Well, that's a lie. I didn't move it yesterday, really. I walked a little bit, but not too much. a form of exercise is really important. And whether it's, for me, it's been CrossFitting, which has been great because it's allowed me to really put out some of the aggression, like just the fear and the frustration, like, throwing around a barbell has been really good for me. So because that's been really good, I've been doing more of it. It's been feeling great. I've been lifting like the weights that I used to lift, 2 years ago, which is incredible. But it's not only that, it's more so like, man, I'm feeling really fantastic. On the days that I haven't wanted to CrossFit, I go hiking. And I've been going hiking, and I haven't been listening to the earpods. I just go and I listen to nature. And I listen to myself. That has been really important too. Like just creating time to listen, to really listen to not only the fear, but just get past the fear, all of the concerns, but really making time for silence. Okay? The third part of it is taking just consistent action. I've been really consistent and committing to things and doing the uncomfortable things. So the recipe is very simple. You have to, first of all, be in awareness of the negative feelings, the thoughts rather, and make the decision to say, I'm not doing this. And also, I don't have the answer right now. And I also don't need the answer. I will have the answer when I need it. Another thing of it is also, you have to be flexible with, you can't be so attached with things going a certain way. And then, if you only see it in one way and they can only happen in one way, it's not going to work. And you're going to be cutting off all these different ways that things can happen for you. So you have to let go. You have to let go. And letting go is actually allowing the flow. So how do you know when you're flowing with stuff? You feel really good. You feel really good. Now, here's what you need to know. Like, even though I was thinking, oh my God, I got to move, I got to do this, I got to do that. I go to this breakfast place every single day, and I have my avocado toast and my latte, and it's definitely, I think breakfast for me every day is like about $27, almost $30 a day. And I didn't stop doing that once. Why? Typically, I think most would say, well, I really got to start tightening my wallet because, I've got to move and I've got to do this and I've got to do that. And the reason I didn't stop doing it is because I love going there. I love the staff. I love sitting out and having my coffee outside. I love the coffee. I love the bowl that they bring it in. I love the avocado toast. I love everything about it. It feels really good. And because it feels really good, it's why I have to keep doing it. So it's about being really deliberate and making choices to always feel good. I did another experiment last weekend, and that one was, I went to go see Ocean's 8 because I really wanted to go see, and oh my God, it was so great. Every woman should just go see it and have a good time. Funny, hey Moko, my best friend is on, we were just talking about the movie, but it's just so fun and light, and it was great. I just wanted to go and laugh, and that was it, because I've been so focused on feeling good. So here's another thing I did. Last weekend, I also made the commitment. I am someone who, like, I've had some mindset stuff around, giving money to the homeless, because I think I've had that belief of, well, they're going to go just buy alcohol or drugs or something like that. And then last week I said, you know what? That's really none of my business. For me, the only thing I can take care of is the intention behind it. How am I giving it to them? So I did that. I just was last week I was giving money to homeless people, and then also to I over tipped at a restaurant. It was pretty much like 100% tip on because the service was great, and it wasn't like they were over the. It was just great service, and I was really appreciative that the experience was so good. But here was the thing: it was so big because if I have this to give, what I'm putting out and what I'm believing, it also has to feel good. That's a really important part. You can't just do this to do it. It has to feel good. I was excited to say thank you, and but it's also putting out into the universe, I have enough. Not only do I have enough, I have it for me, but I have enough for myself. For others. So, it's all of these little tweaks that you can be doing. And very simply, what I will say is this: pay attention to the thoughts that you're having and when. When do you tend to have the most negative thoughts. That's number one. And then when you have them, what's the choice you want to make? And if you choose to make the decision to be in the now, most of what you're thinking about is not even anything that you're going to have to worry about in that moment. And by doing that, you give the universe the opportunity to give you the solutions, to have the solutions come to you. And all you have to do is focus on feeling good, and your gratitude. I've learned so much about gratitude on a different level in the last few weeks, like just really being grateful for what I have, and even being grateful for the problems that I have, because they're good problems to have, and realizing that they're really not problems. And here's the final thing that I'm going to leave you with. This has been significant for me. Even the things that aren't going well, I find the reason to be grateful for those things. Like, how is the situation helping me right now? That person who pissed me off, let me think. It's usually somebody who pisses me off. But, how is this helping me? Or, what am I learning from this? And that's been so important, because whenever I ask, what am I learning from this? I always find something from every circumstance to be grateful for, and to learn something from. Even if from the person who's really pissing you off, or this, the situation that right now it's there to help you. And the sooner that you find the reason that it is helping you, or you don't even have to find the reason, but just be grateful for it. I find that if I find a reason, I can connect to the gratitude for it. It's been significant. And results have been generated about $45,000 in the last, 5 weeks. Moving to a brand new apartment tomorrow. My Kate Spade dishes. And those are all just things. Ultimately, what I've noticed is I have been more at peace than I can really think of consistently. And that's been the biggest thing, because I think we always think we want these things because we'll be happy, and it's really not it. I have found a deeper sense of inner peace, and that has allowed me to make better decisions with the business for sure. So my results have been better just because I've been in a better place. So, and I'm looking better, I'm feeling better because I'm working out, right? There's that, but it's also like, I know that I'm looking better because I feel great, So all of this to say, you have choices, and you don't have to solve every problem right now. You don't have to get your business to 6 figures and overnight or whatever. Like, you just have to keep choosing to find the grace, to find the gratitude, to find why things are working even when they aren't, because they always are. And, making that choice to always choose that gratitude. From that, I think the results have been really incredible, and what it's done is just further inspire me to continue to keep on track with this. So thank you so much for being on today. I hope that this has helped, because the last few lives have really been more business focused. But this for me is always the big thing, because if I had to choose between, working on, some type of promotion or online training or marketing or something, and working on my energy, I'm always going to work on the energy, because when I work on that, my results are always better in business. So all of these things are connected. Your business is a reflection of you. Your living circumstances is a reflection of you, but it's a reflection of you like that just passed. So with every second, you get to choose a new version of who you want to be. So you can do that. I hope that this has helped in some way. The next live that we do, I promise, I should have some coffee in it, but if I don't, I will at least have one of the coffee cups for you to see, my Kate Spade, dishes and all that, but it's what they represent. And now I have a new thing, like whenever I look at those dishes, I will remember how beautifully they manifested. And it was just by following, the excitement and just being open to, how can I make this work? And just remember, there's little reminders like that all around you anyway too, okay? So I hope that this has helped. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks, La Marie Butte. This was so good. House of Jagu says, yes, it helped me feel that I'm not alone in this. You're never alone with this, ever. And it's part of the reason why I share this, because I want to make sure that you know that it doesn't matter because I know that you might look at me and think, wow, she's really successful. And I am. I think I'm really successful at life. My bank account could look differently. I could, I don't know. Life could be very different. But, I'm really seeing that success is really about how you feel. Because money always changes. Business always changes, life changes, relationships change, everything changes. Everything changes. And what I'm realizing is that through the change, I'm stable, I'm grounded, I can handle it, and that to me is success. So whatever's going on right now, I'm a reflection of you, just the same way you're a reflection of me. So, remember this, and hopefully it helps, okay? Have a wonderful rest of the day. Have a wonderful week. And I will see you next time at my new place with my new dishes. And we're going to have some coffee. All right, guys. Thank you so much. See you soon. Bye.